can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I to rhyme and to hype? It feels good when you know you're down. A super dope homeboy from the Oak Town, and I'm known as such. And this is a beat you can't touch. I told you, home.
So freshman year in Hendrick House, there was a fire drill. And it was at like 5 a.m. in the morning.
I think it was 6. 6 a.m. 6 a.m.
Okay, 6 a.m. in the morning, as opposed to 6 a.m. at night. But what happened is, for the record, I was asleep, legitimately.
And the fire alarm was right by my bed.
It was literally right above.
So it was me, Maha, Umar, and Rehan, all in one room, sleeping at Hendrick House freshman year. And so the alarm goes off. And I get up and lock the door, and then
Umar gets up, he goes to his fridge, grabs water, he gets a drink, looks out the window, and goes back to sleep.
and
We all went back to sleep for a little bit. Then we were banging on our door, and then the RA comes in and opens the door. And basically they like burst in, and like a lady from the fire department and everything. And the best part is, Umar and Rehan were sleeping in the same bed. So they open the door and they both pop up from the bed together. And then they just started like yelling at us and telling us that we're dead, and that if it was a real fire, we'd be dead. And
well, we didn't have to go outside or anything.
yeah, so it was great. We didn't have to like leave and stand outside in the cold. It was fun times. I still love how you left the door.
Good times, good times.
So one of my favorite memories from U of I was on election day when I was a freshman. I remember I was sitting in the union and they just announced that Obama won, and everyone from the union started running, so I just started running with them, and we all ended up on Green Street, and there was just like a swarm of people everywhere on Green Street, and they were just like chanting, and I don't know, it was a really cool experience, and I don't think I'll ever forget it.
So one of my funniest moments at U of I was last year during Halloween weekend. Sitter and I went to the MSA girls party, and then afterwards we just came back to our apartment, and she's kind of lame, so she just crashed at midnight.
Later than midnight, it was way later.
And I go into my room and I can't sleep because I'm pretty nocturnal. So I'm like up all night. It's like 3 a.m. now, and I hear this weird noise, okay? So this really weird noise is coming from like outside my room. And I open my room's door and all I hear is so anyways, I'm just wondering, you know, what could this be? So I go and I walk around the apartment, and I thought it was the neighbors, but it wasn't. So then I go back into my room, and I'm like a little scared now because I keep hearing this weird noise, right? So I go back into my room, I'm like snuggling in my bed, and now I have my lights off, I'm a little scared, and I hear it again. So I get up, I open my room's door, and I'm like, Sidra? And Sidra opens her door, she's like, what? I'm just singing. And I'm like, what are you, you're singing? She's like, yeah, I'm just singing, okay? At 3 a.m., she's singing and making these weird alien noises.
I have a beautiful
like,
voice. I have a beautiful.
It was far from beautiful. It was far from beautiful.
Much better than that.
Okay.
So I think the most memorable experience of my college career and of me being involved in MSA, I think a lot of that has come from the fact that I've lived with Maha for 3 years. That's generated a lot of good experiences. So one thing I can point to was sophomore year, we were living in the Tans, and it was me, Fahad Tanvir, Maz Ahmad, and Riyad Haq. We were roommates. And so Maz decided that one day he was going to put Riyad's bed out on the balcony when he wasn't there. So he did this, and Riyad decided that he's going to sleep outside for 3 days because he refused to bring his bed inside. Anyway, so he eventually brought it inside, and he asked me if he wanted, if we should do something together to get Maz back. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So one day when Maz was sleeping in his bedroom, what we did is we took all the couches from our apartment, like there was one main couch, 2 armchairs, and we surrounded his bedroom door with it. All right. So he's sleeping in his room, and now like there's like a barricade of couches like outside his door. Now the other thing we did is we took out the lock and we flipped it, so it locked from the outside. Right? You guys kind of get where I'm going with this. So he wakes up, and he's so confused, like he's pounding on the door. He doesn't know what's going on. And then like he tries to open it, but of course it's locked from the outside. And so Maz being Maz, it takes him like 10 minutes to figure it out. But then he figures it out and he uses like a knife, I think, to open the door. He opens the door and he's surrounded by couches, right? Like huge couches like on all sides. And he still doesn't know what's going on. And then he yells and screams. And I think that was just a great experience. It showed that really the way we've all bonded together was by playing jokes on each other. But all joking aside, I've really enjoyed my experience here. I've enjoyed the people I've met, and I've lived with Mas for 3 years, and that's been a great experience.
Primetime pizza. Eat CU $9.99 deep dish 1-topping pizza. It's the greatest deal ever. If you haven't eaten it, try it.
So my freshman year, me and someone who has graduated already, Zain, and Sharjeel Ahmad, were bored on one of the last days of school. So it was their last day of classes, and they wanted to do something special. And so we're sitting on the couch and we're thinking, what can we do? And Zain suggests that we start a fire in the Blues parking lot. And then for some reason all of us said yes. And so we go outside and we're all pumped up to do something crazy. But Zain and Sharjeel thankfully have their senses, but I don't. I take it that they were being serious and I go ahead and get started. So near the Blues there's a fence that has this dry leaves intertwined with the links. And so I pull that out, roll it into a ball, and then when they see me doing that, other people get excited too. Maz joins in. He's like, he wants to help in, so he suggests that we roll it in the ball and then we light it from underneath, and we do all that, and then we throw it into the dumpster, and then we kind of walk away. So this ball of wires lit up and it's in the dumpster. We didn't think anything of it, so we kind of walked away. Me, Maz, we saw some other people across the Blues parking lot, so we go there, talk to them, and then crazily we see smoke rising, and it's coming from the dumpster, obviously. And we go over it, and the whole dumpster is on fire. That small ball of twigs lit the whole dumpster on fire, and so that was crazy because we had to figure out a way to take it out, to put it out, and not get ourselves in trouble. But we didn't manage to put it out ourselves. We had to call the fire department, and we kind of got in trouble. But that's all right. It was a crazy moment. It was a nice memory, and it's one of my best memories of freshman year.
Okay, so one of my favorite memories on this campus is sneaking into Lincoln Hall. And how it happened was, one night a friend of mine and myself, we were just hanging out on the steps of Bollinger, and we're eating cocoa marrow, and we're just so bored. We're like, there's nothing to do in this town, like what do we do? So then we look and we see Lincoln Hall, and we're like, okay, let's sneak in. So we jump the fence, and it's mud everywhere. So we run through the mud, and we see this giant hole, and it's leading into the basement of Lincoln. And you see like this flickering light, it's like super creepy. So we're trying to figure out the best way to get down this hole, and my friend's like, okay, hold up. She comes back with a ladder. So we put the ladder into the hole, we go down, and we're in the basement now, and it's so weird. There's like dust everywhere, there's wires, and there's like tubing along the walls, there's like things in our way, boxes, I don't even know what it was. There's like probably rats down there, gyms, I don't know. So we're walking around, and then we come to this ladder, and it's leading up from the basement all the way to the top of Lincoln, right? So we start climbing, and we make it onto one of the levels. And so now we're walking around the levels, and I'm getting really scared at this point because I'm getting paranoid that, like either I'm gonna get possessed by a djinn or like some like teacher or something is gonna like come out of nowhere and like expel me. So I'm like, okay, let's go back. But my friend, she wants to go even further, right? So we're walking, and then now we start to hear music, and I'm getting even more scared now. I'm like terrified. And so she's like listening, and she realized that it was the radio that one of the construction people had left on. But I just thought it was legit. So I was like, okay, we need to go. So instead of leaving through the front, which would have been a much smarter idea, we snuck back all the way from the way that we came. So down that ladder, through the basement, up the muddy ladder, and then over the fence again. But alhamdulillah, I was not possessed, and I was not expelled, and I got to see Lincoln Hall.
The memory I'm going to remember most is probably when we went sledding to Orchard Downs, and we got bored of actually just sledding, so we started like grabbing onto Muj's car and just kind of like hanging on as he drove down the icy streets. And then we did the same thing with a sled over somewhere down in Urbana or Champaign. And it was probably the dumbest thing I've done in undergrad, probably the most riskiest thing that might have actually died from. Taha and I think Rehan actually thought I did die when I was doing it, but that's probably the best memory I'm going to have.
So this is our pride and joy, at least this year. And we have run this town for the past 3 years, and so things are not going to be the same next year.
When we're both gone, Run This Town is the song I like to refer to as a song that kind of defines my college memories. Freshman year, when I met this girl, her Facebook status, like the day after I friended her, with the MSA Seniors support, the day after I friend her, I see her Facebook status and it says, "Run This Town." So I think to myself, this Zarina Bassi girl, who is she kidding? What town is she planning on running? I get to know her, you know, we decided we want to become roommates, and I can say that any memory I have here at U of I, good or bad, any sort, is attached to her in some way, shape, or form. So one of my best memories here is having the opportunity to live with her and having her become one of my best friends and my roommate in college. So we ran this town.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And our legacy will live on. Inshallah.
Being heroes.
My favorite memory at U of I is when I first met Fahad. It was the summer before I transferred. I came here for orientation. I actually came here freshman year for spring camp, but I never met him then. So when I came for orientation, he was sleeping here. He was here for summer school, I think. And this is the apartment I slept in too when I came for my orientation. And me and Fahad, we just connected, you know. I saw him. This guy's pretty weird. I only knew like vague stories about how he shows up like in darknesses, out of the darkness I should say. So yeah, so we started talking and we found out we both love movies, and we had one movie in particular that really connected with us. It was called Into the Wild. It's a beautiful movie. And since then, I just knew Fahad was here and I needed to be here too, so I transferred. And that's my favorite memory.
Chala! Get the doorman. He's so the ball. Get it. Let's go, close the door. Let's go. Oh shit, hey, look at them looking. Oh yeah, dude. Show the victory ball right there. Woo. That's just lightning, baby. Oh yeah. Did you even run after you, dude? So just staring at us, dude. And one guy
So it started off freshman year. It was like what, Tuesday, a random Tuesday, boring Tuesday. So it was me, Calvin, Zahir, and another one of our friends that graduated. So then we came up with the idea to sneak into Memorial Stadium.
It was winter too, because we were running in the snow.
Yeah. Okay, so we're walking in, and at this point I'm kind of getting a little cold feet, you know, trying to get a little...
I never cared. I was down
yeah.
all the time.
Alright, fine. I got a little scared. But anyway, because they had like signs everywhere that said, don't pass this point, you get expelled or some shit.
They're not safe. We tried finding like how to get in there. Couldn't find anything, so we climbed up a bunch of stairs, and then there's a fence. And then like, alright, someone has to go over the fence, clearly, and open the door for everyone else.
Oh yeah, so him and Zahir decide that they'll jump the fence. So while me and my friend are waiting for him and Zahir to jump the fence, we see like a security guard coming. So we laid down flat on the ground, and there's snow everywhere, and these guys jumped and they're gone. And so I'm like scared at this point. I gotta pee, there's snow all over me. And then, so the security guard left, and then we got up and we're like, all right, let's just get out of here. And so we're leaving, and we see like a door pop open. And so we thought it was like another security guard, so we like hid, and the door closed right away. And then they opened it again, and it was him and Zahir. So then they opened the door for us, we went inside, ran the field, chilled.
It was cool though.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Got to see everything.
Yeah.
No place you're not supposed to go.
Yeah. So then we needed a little memento, you know, a little keepsake. So then when we left, what was like the tackling dummy?
Yeah.
It was like a big tackling dummy, it was like an orange one. And so we just like...
Nicknamed it Juice.
We nicknamed it Juice after Juice Million. So then we stole that, or borrowed it.
No, we stole it. We picked it up, took it, and we're basically walking out with this giant ass like football like tackling dummy like, to the car, trying to like get in there.
And then it wouldn't fit in the trunk, so we had to like put it through the back window. So like you're in the back seat, and you have a half an orange thing sticking out of one side, and the other window is half the other orange thing. And we took it home, and that was sneaking into Memorial Stadium. So all the Blues guys were smoking in their apartment, but well, a lot of people smoke in their apartment, right? So we had to like take it somewhere else.
Yeah, we had to take it away. Too many hours.
Yeah. So we couldn't take it to any of our places because we all lived in dorms. So we figured we'd take it to Hendrick House. So we take it there, cover up the fire extinguisher with a bag. Fire alarm. Smoke detector. Cover that with a bag, and we're smoking shisha, chilling.
Of course, it's impeccable shisha. As you know, no better shisha factories and or smokers have been on this campus before since us, and none will ever surpass.
Oh my god. Yeah. So then we were smoking, and then all of a sudden we hear someone knock on the door. So we're thinking it's an RA. And we're like, okay, we gotta like get this out of here. And so everyone's like panicking, they're like running around and stuff. So me and this guy, we grab the shisha and we run into the shower, and we're like hiding in the shower with the shisha. And we're about to like turn the shower on to let the water like drain all the coal, you know. We're like freaking out. And it turned out to be Fahad.
And then, always random Fahad, always doing random things. Tweet this out.
So then we came back out and smoked the rest of it. Yeah, that was another experience.
We're getting back from the Lupe Fiasco concert. We're walking through the Blues parking lot, right? And we see like Adil, Mona, and maybe Maz throwing around the frisbee. Now we're all pumped up. We're like ready to go. We're like, oh my god, that concert was awesome. It's best and my best senior year ever. Blah blah blah. So we see him I see him throwing the frisbee around. And I'm like, alright, I gotta show these guys up. Cause like, I like to play frisbee, right? So, oh my god. Adil throws the frisbee to Mona, and I just like lodge up there. And in like 20 feet off the ground, alright? Yeah, so my vertical's better than T-Rose's. So I grab the frisbee and I come down and I'm like so proud of myself. And I just see everyone just like staring at the ground. And I was just like, what is everyone looking at? So I go and look at it and my phone is just shattered to pieces. Like, this phone is like 2 months old, maybe. It was like, oh my god, the worst thing ever. And I brushed it off, I was like, oh, that wasn't a big deal. I just broke my phone. So that was pretty embarrassing.
It all started one day. We were sitting on an apartment. The apartment was extremely messy, and we're like, this apartment's way too messy. We gotta just take advantage somehow.
It was during finals week, so we were studying.
And it was just me, Omar, and Shariar. And then we were thinking about a way to get Mahmoud back. We're like, all right, this apartment's way too messy. And then I think Shariar came back. He's like, let's just pretend like our apartment got robbed, and we'll just videotape Mahmoud's reaction and see how anybody gets back. So we just start messing our apartment up even more. We turn couches over. We take his TV, put it into like a bedroom. And we just like, it was complete. We took glasses, light bulbs, and we crushed them, and we just like put them all over. We just like destroyed the place. It was pretty bad already, but then we set up your phone, 2.0's phone, on the side to record Mahmoud walking in and see what his reaction would be, and we would all just be like outside.
So the apartment was completely dark, and we kept one light on when Mahmoud walked in, so we'd be able to see it on the camera. But then when he walked in, and he saw the apartment, so we saw it on camera. He walked in, and then he looked around for a little bit, and then he went back out, and then he called me, and I didn't pick up. So when he came back in, apparently he saw my phone light up.
So then that kind of ruined the prank, because he saw the phone light up. But he acted like he wasn't scared, but we had video evidence that he was afraid. And we asked him why he think we didn't get robbed. He's like, well, the posters weren't ripped. So Mahmoud just thinks posters have to be ripped in order to get robbed. But then after that, Mahmoud prank failed. We're like, man, this place is so messy. We just have to get more people with it. We wasted too much time destroying the place. So then we kept thinking, who to get. And then naturally, Aman Hayden was a natural selection up next to get him next to the apartment. So, but for his story, it was gonna be more elaborate. That there was a robber in the apartment, and we're gonna make him walk in and see the robber, and then just see his reaction after that.
So what happened was Shariar ended up going to Aman, and he was in 208, right? He was in 208. So he went to Aman, and he like was acting, he was pretending to be really scared. Don't worry. He was trying to be really, really scared. He was like, oh man, you know, somebody broke into our apartment. I think somebody's in there. You have to come back. So Aman apparently believed him, and they both went back to the apartment. Shariar's like pushing him. He's like, oh my, he's trying to be really scared.
Wait, who was in the room?
Oh, Mahmoud. So we dressed up Mahmoud. Like I had this like really furry jacket, so we turned it inside out and like put layers.
Yeah, he was wearing like a hoodie.
So he's like this really like
big, huge, like figure, and it's like completely dark. It's a shadow figure. So the plan was we're gonna say some code word. He's gonna come running out of the bathroom, just run into the wall really hard in the hallway, and just like run into a bedroom. And then that was the plan. So then Shariar went and brought Aman. He's like, the plan was he's telling Aman that he was all alone, and that me and people were at the library, and then he didn't know what to do because he came back and the place was all messed up. So he went and he grabbed Aman, and then he came back in. So he just opens our door. He's leading Aman, and he's just telling Aman, look around. He's like, let's go check the hallway, whatever. So he's walking with Aman, and then he says a code word. I can't remember what it was. So when you see Mahmoud and this huge figure just run out of the bathroom, just hit against the wall and run to the bedroom. And then Aman just starts screaming like a little girl and like turns around and runs outside. And he's just freaking out. And then me and 2.0 were just waiting behind the corner, our stores that we were walking back.
Yeah, so no, what happened was, so then Aman got scared, right? And we didn't time it properly, so we were walking away from the apartment, so we were supposed to pretend to walk back when Aman was out, right? When we were walking away, and then all of a sudden we hear Aman like screaming. He's like literally in the middle of the road, he's like jumping around, he's like, call the cops! And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, so we were like really scared that something.
Yeah, and then we came running back, like, Aman, what happened? Because we pretend we know. He's like, dude, there's somebody in the place, we saw him, there's somebody in the room, let's just call the cops. And he's just like jumping up and down, he's like pulling his phone out, he's like about to call the cops, he's yelling. And then Shariar was like, oh man, neighbors gonna hear after call the cops. And then we told him what happened, and then he got so mad. It was like snowy outside.
No, that's not how it No, because there was a little part in between. Okay, so we all like gathered up, and then we were gonna go back into the apartment, right? And we kind of pushed him on forward, and he was about to. He's like, no man, I think we should call the cops. He's like, no man, let's just go inside. Somebody's in our apartment. He's like, no man, we should call them. He was like really scared. And then Shariar told him, and then Aman, he like tackled Shariar in the snow.
And then after we got Aman's like, all right, now we have to get somebody else. Like, I don't want to be the only one who this prank happened to. And like, all right, we're gonna get And then we thought of getting Faraz Pacer. And then, so since he knows me really well, the plan was gonna be like, I was gonna call him and bring him to the Blues. Yeah, I was gonna call him and bring him to the Tans, and then we're pretty much gonna do the same thing. Mahmoud's gonna be dressed up again. So, and Amman was gonna help me, he was gonna come and get Faraz. So then we called Faraz, and then Amman just was a little shady. He's like, Faraz, you just have to come over the tent, you have to come over the tent. So Faraz didn't know what's going on, so Faraz coming, it's like winter outside, he's coming in like his Crocs, just his Crocs. Or like jumping
Crocs, he comes in like a pajama.
Yeah, he was in a pajama and a t-shirt, and it was like freezing outside. So then Faraz comes over and we're like, dude, Faraz, I just walked in my place, it's completely messed up. And we did the exact same thing we did as Amman, we just let him slowly in, use a code word, and then Mahmoud came running out again, and then Faraz, his reaction was just like the greatest thing. He was just like, he turned around, he started running, he tripped over the shoes, like ran into our wall. He just opened the door and he just started booking it without doing anything else, he just started running. And then he left his Crocs or whatever there, so in the snow, he's running barefoot in the snow.
He's like,
and then we're like, Faraz, yeah.
Yo, I can't do this bag.
And then we're like, Faraz, what should we do? What should we do? He's like, I don't know, come back to the booth. But my feet are freezing. My feet are free. That's all he could think of. He just started running. He ran back to the booth. And we're like, what the hell? We couldn't even do anything. We were just standing in the snow. And then he ran back to the booth. We're like, let's just call him and tell him that it was a joke or whatever. He's actually gonna come back. And they're about to call him. And all of a sudden he runs. And he tells everyone at the booth. And you see like 6 people from the booth like come running, like obeyed and everything. They think like we legit got robbed. And they all came back and then we figured it out.
They all sit in the apartment. They all thought we called the cops. Yeah, and then we ended up telling them or something.
Yeah, and that was a finals week night that we tried studying, and that just one plan led to another, and then
yeah.
That's like that.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
So denied, so I lied. Are you the now or never kind?
Nighat Hussain, aka Niggy. She is, mashallah, mashallah, one of the sweetest, most genuine girls I have ever met. She has such a big heart and so sweet to everyone she meets. Seriously, so funny. She's super outgoing, a lot of fun, but most of all, she's so caring and loving and just lovable in general. And I'm gonna miss her a ton, and she's going to make a great, wait for it, Mrs. Lualding.
So first off, we go pretty far back. We came from the same town. It was nice when he transferred over here. Got to finally meet up somebody that, like, you know, came from my same background. The things that he's done though, like MSA president, he was doing a lot for spring camp, a lot of behind the scenes things, gave a lot of rides. He's always that kind of guy that he's there when you need him, and he's there even when you don't need him. It's fun just chilling over at this place, hanging out. He's always down to eat or just go out and do stuff. He's like one of those guys that's always down. Like you guys know what I mean. I don't know if like, the blues guys know what I mean. Put it that way. What else? Adil. I know this is gonna sound corny, but he's a real stand-up guy. He's got character. It's something that you look for when you look to an upperclassman. Like you can go to him and he's a real example for a lot of guys. So I guess that's Adelaide there in a nutshell.
Okay, so Mahmoud Siraj, let's see. I remember the first time I met Mahmoud was during the New Orleans trip, the relief trip, my freshman year, I think. And I was the only freshman on that trip, so let's see. My first like impression of Mahmoud was this very suave, like smooth guy. I'd heard things about him before, like, and so like basically this like really smooth guy. In general, he's a very good person. I had a lot of exposure to him this year on Shura, and he's very responsible. He's a very kind person. He's always a person like will cheer people up and get them back on track. I think another memory from the New Orleans trip. Driving back, he wouldn't let anyone else drive. He kind of, I think he drove the whole way back, and so I have a lot of respect for him. He's always kind of been the person with a smile on his face, a little bit of a weird accent, but it's okay. And I'm gonna really miss him. Inshallah, we'll keep in touch afterwards. Paths will cross again.
So in the beginning of the year, me and Sidra played a prank on all the other freshmen, saying that we were sisters. And we definitely got like half the freshmen to think about that. And I mean, they kind of like got on our backs like 3 weeks into it, but it doesn't even matter. Like I'm really gonna miss her. I'm really gonna miss how crazy she is, and we really bonded over the past 2 years. And I just want to say good luck with everything, Sidra.
Danish Heather is a very good-natured person. He always helps people and he never refuses to help others. I think that he has some very good qualities, and as a roommate, he's really helped me out with MCB, and I think that he promotes he's one of those types of people that you'd want to keep around you to promote a good Islamic environment. He doesn't really I don't think he does anything bad to my knowledge, so I think he's good in that regard. He's been a very good source of guidance for me personally as an MCB student and as a person in general. I think that he's helped me loosen up as a person and become a bit more liberal and accepting of my views.
Alright, I'm here with Muhammad Siddiqui, aka Momentum, also known as Gina by a few. We're talking about Taha Anwar, and Muhammad can tell us a little bit about Taha.
Alright, so I mean everyone knows Taha as a comedian around the MSA. And I mean two things you have to follow to hang out with them is first, you can't call him past 4 p.m. because most times he's sleeping. I've tried to call him at 12 before. I get a text 4 hours later, yeah, I just woke up. And second thing is you have to be down to eat, like really late at night as well. He'll put up statuses sometimes at like 2 o'clock in the morning, anyone down to eat, and he really means it. He's down to eat when he says that. And I mean, here, this is Farhan. He can say some things as well.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much summed it up. Taha is just like a comedian of our group, and he's like the glue guy, keeps everyone together, gets everyone to hang out, and yeah, we're just gonna miss him. Wish him best of luck next year at Iowa Medical School, and we hope he comes back and visits us sometime soon.
I hope so too. Maybe his senioritis is gone by then. Yeah, 8 years running. So we're gonna talk about Shahriyar, one of the more interesting seniors. Farhan has a story about him.
Yeah, so I was with Physics 102 with Sherry this semester, and one day we were walking to our exam, and we were just discussing test-taking strategies. And I told Sherry, I was like, if you have to guess on a question, you should always put C. And I gave him some really nerdy reason. I was like, statistically, studies have shown that 75% of the time, or I don't remember what I told him, but he tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, bro, screw that. And then he told me, just put A for Allah because only Christians put C. And then ever since then, on exams, I always guilt trip myself into putting A, even if I think C is a better choice on if I have to guess. So every time I take a test, I guess I'll have to remember Sherry for that one.
Yeah, Sherry is a really nice guy. We're really gonna miss him. We hope the best of luck for him. He's probably the most competitive person I know, and he's gonna be missed in all the sports / comedy / watching Bulls games areas at U of I. So we hope him best of luck.
Haji is probably one of the most genuine girls I've ever met. She's not only been a best friend to me, but she's also been such a good influence to me in so many ways. She's someone in my life that I'm definitely so thankful to, and like every time I think about having a friend like her, I just want to say Alhamdulillah. I've had so many good memories with her, and honestly, I can't believe she's leaving. It's pretty hard, but I just want to say I'm so thankful for getting a chance to meet someone like her.
Okay, so I've lived with Faraz Kaiser for 2 years now, and I didn't know anything about him when we first moved in. I met him the first day, and Rayhan actually told me that he was a huge Taylor Swift fan. I was like, alright, that's good enough for me, so he's gonna be a good roommate. But in the past 2 years, I've witnessed his, like I said, evolution as a person, and he went through a lot of stages and phases in his last 2 years here. And the earliest I can remember was his hater phase, and he hated on everything. He hated on cute little kids, he hated on love, he hated on rainbows, rabbits, anything you could possibly think of, anything to hate on, he hated on it. But he went through that, and then he went on to his I want to get big and fat stage, eating everything in an apartment, huge calorie diet, whatnot, going through a vision. But I mean, I got no problem with that. But his hipster phase that everyone knows about, that, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, so I won't go into that too much, but I mean, I think it's a good thing. It's unique and it adds flavor to the world. But his latest phase, I would say, his skinny jeans phase, I would say, I mean, it's kind of weird to me because I'd be in my apartment, in my bedroom, and he'd be passing by me and he's looking like a girl with his tight pants on. And I'd be like, bro, you look like a girl with your tight pants on. And he'd be like, so what? Have you ever tried them on? I'm like, no, like, they're so comfortable. So I guess I can't say anything about that because I don't have an experience with girl pants. But I mean, all in all, like I said, he's a good guy, he's a great friend, and he's the best roommate you could probably ever have outside of safety net problem.
So I've known Hanya Basatia for a couple of years, and I can truly say she's been a great friend to me. Coming in as a freshman at U of I didn't know that many people, and she was there for me, you know, giving me great advice and helping me out throughout campus. And I can say by far she's been my favorite TA, and I have some pretty good memories with her, our best one being skydiving by far. I can say when you're jumping out of a plane, you kind of need someone there as moral support, and Hanya was my moral support. Otherwise, I don't think I would have had the courage to do it. And overall, I wish her and the other seniors the best of luck in their future. And I'm going to miss her a lot, even though I know I'm going to be seeing her around. And Hanya, I know Dr. Natara will be missing you as well.
Calvin is a very nice guy. He's very fun to hang out with, and he likes punching you.
Right, so basically Tupito's like a little brother to me, man. You know, always waking me up for Fajr, asking how classes are going and whatnot. Just always, you know, just trying to find out how things are really. So it's going to be a lot different without him next year. Hope the best for him. Miss him a lot.
I think like this time of year, every year is the worst time of year. Mainly because like another batch of awesome people are graduating and leaving us behind. And one of these guys is Sakal Kazi. I hope you didn't hear me. He was such an awesome friend. Like I haven't known him for so long, but over the last year, like we just got so much closer. He's like always there whenever you want someone to help you. Very awesome friend. And in terms of favors, he comes in like number one. I always ask him to like get me right, stuff like that. So it's gonna be like really hard to see him leave us along with everyone else.
Okay, Aksa is my homegirl. I love this girl to death. I will miss so many things about her. It's unreal. Her crazy stories, her obsession with vampires, with trance music that nobody's ever heard of, her obsession with trying to clone herself, and our Nero's runs. That'll definitely be, Nero's won't be the same without her. But she is one of the sweetest, most beautiful, inside and out people I know, and so I'm really, really gonna miss her. But I know she's still gonna be around, and so we're gonna be in touch.
So some things I'm gonna miss about Fahad is always doing random things with him. Just goes out in the middle of the night and does crazy things that nobody else does. We always like watch movies and stuff in the middle of the night. It just happens, and play poker and stuff. He's a great roommate. Just gonna miss him overall.
Sarah Karuk is one of the sweetest girls that I know. I've gotten to know her so much better this year because of MSA friends, and I see her here and there on the bus between classes. And she's so positive and optimistic. I've never seen this girl down before, and she has such a sweet smile. She will truly be missed along with other senior girls, and I wish all of you guys the best of luck.
So when I think about Sada, I think about one of the most compassionate people that I know, one of the sweetest people I know. I've lived with her for 2 years now, and it seems like she's like an older sister to me. I'm really gonna miss her, and I wish her best of luck with all her big plans that are coming up, and I'm gonna miss you so much, Sada, so good luck. When I think about Yasid, I see someone who's ridiculously passionate and fiery, and honestly, her enthusiasm and her energy for like what's going on in Syria has been so inspiring to me, and it's really what made me get out more and be more open about my activism in Syria. So I wish Yasid the best of luck with everything that she's, with all her future plans, and I know she's going places because of her passion.
Okay, so Maz is definitely one of the friendliest guys around. I would say you would have a hard time finding a picture of him where he's not smiling, even in situations where it would probably be really inappropriate to smile. But he's definitely one of the most easygoing guys around. It would be an understatement to say that we make fun of him a lot. And he's always taken it really well. He's super easygoing about it. I've rarely ever seen him mad despite the amount of jokes directed at him. I remember one time a few of the older guys put him in their trunk of their car on his birthday and drove him out into the middle of the cornfields and temporarily left him there. And he just kind of thought it was kind of funny. He didn't even really say anything about it. He just laughed it off. But that just goes to show you. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't killed us by this point. But he's he's really super easygoing and a really friendly guy. He's always been, he's always there when you need a favor, and he's really reliable. I think there was one time where Saif told him that he was moving to Pakistan, and this was a complete lie, by the way. And this story held up for like several weeks. And in the meantime, Maz was busy like trying to pitch in for goodbye gifts and farewell parties, and I mean he was trying to do the right thing, and I mean obviously it all turned out to be a lie, but that just goes to show you what a really nice guy he is. So I'm definitely gonna miss Maz's stories about his outings to restaurants that don't exist anymore, his ridiculously well-paying internships, and of course the recent craze, his nitrogen problems. Follow that on Twitter. At Mazism.
Hi, we're here to talk about Ikram Mullah Khan
and company.
Yeah, but this is Saif Rahman.
Yeah, I've known Ikram since 2004. He's like my brother. We do everything together. He came to UIUC with me. And I think one time I had some great stories about him.
Okay, well, over winter break, Ikram's car got stolen. And one of the first things he did, 4 in the morning, was call me and was like, hey, your car was stolen. I think your shoes are in the car. So what went through his mind when his car was stolen was my shoes were in his car. And I guess there's 2 things wrong with this. One, when someone's car gets stolen, you don't like think about like, oh, this guy's shoes are in his car. Let me call him. He promised me to buy me new shoes and stuff. Like no one thinks about that. You think about, oh, my car was stolen. I have to tell my mom. I have to call insurance, all that stuff. And second thing, my shoes were not in his car. his shoes are in his car.
Yeah, those are
so,
my cleats, so
I was like, what the hell? Don't call me. My shoes aren't in the car. Go worry about your car. So it shows how he goes like above and beyond, and like he worries about other people. Well, he worries about other people much more than he worries about himself.
Yeah, he really goes out of your way for you, like whenever you need. He literally goes out of his way for me, because every time I need rides back home in Chicago, I live 10 minutes north of him, so he always comes 10 minutes north, takes me back to Champaign, and he seriously goes out of his way for you, and he's like I said, like a brother to me. Like, we do everything together back home, so I'm gonna miss him, even though I'm gonna see him every other day in Chicago. Peace.
Zaira, I love you. It was a ton of fun working on faculty with you this year. I'm really glad that I met you, and I wish you the best of luck with everything after you graduate.
My name is Yusha.
My name is Luis.
Rayhan is a great guy. He took my first Atlanta game. I'm gonna miss hanging out with him and the 10th guys.
So nervous. Rayhan, I know him since freshman year. He was my macro econ class. Like, one real memory I have of him was when I really wanted to watch the Bears game. It was a Thursday night game that wasn't televised, and he invited me to his dorm at PAR, and it was snowing. I walked my ass all the way to PAR and watched the Bears game on his laptop with him, and it was a game-winning field goal by Robbie Gould as we studied for our econ final, but that was great.
We're really gonna miss the seniors. You were so welcoming to us freshmen.
And we really appreciate everything you guys have done for us. We
love
you.
Yeah, I would just like to say to all the senior brothers, it's hard to just pick one, but all of them have been all really close to me and everything. I just really appreciate how they've guided me in the freshman and sophomore through these years and everything. Yeah, I just really appreciate all the guys.
Reflect the records we set, best foot forward with every step, and let's push towards it, never regress, and let's remember if ever we get down, the places that we came from round, and all the good times on the bad side of town, the upside of bad, flip it upside down, came from the bottom but we up high now, believe, and from this view we achieved, we look back at the rules we received, and how we broke those, dismantled and rewrote those, and the ghost still alive in the photos, sounds of the summer, day and go wise, cold wind blowing through a city on fire. Moments of the past came here to find you, not to relive them, just to remind you.
Take me to that old familiar place. Take me to memories we won't erase. Take me to all that we had, good and the bad. I'll never forget you. I'll never let you go. I'll never forget you. I'll always remember you know.
And let the evidence show the future's so bright, it's never been more. Not like tonight, we walk into the glow, right into the light. The past all around us, the time of our life. The first love kisses, the broke heart disses. This is just like a first class ticket back to the first written rap, the crumbled up paper and the pen with no cap, the hand-me-down clothes and the unturned hat, the hookers on the corner and the kids selling crack, the needles in the yard where we used to play catch, stories from the projects we could never go at, a two. These are shades of my youth, trials of a child, everything truth, moments of the past, coming back to find us, not to relive them, just to remind us.
Take me to that